Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Monongalia County Commission to order. Let the record reflect that all three commissioners are present. First item on the agenda is the consent and approval with our county administrator. Good morning, good morning, Renetta.
Good morning. No exonerations. Minutes for January 10th, 2024. Vouchers, General County, $238,683.66. Chestnut Ridge Park, $1,023.31. Camp Musselly, $3,208.05. Mason-Dixon Park, $148.60. Mon County Center, $4,595.55. Assessors valuation, $35.84. Industrial, Morgantown Industrial TIF, $384.34. Parks and Recreation, $10,636.33. Purchasing card vouchers, General County, $8,925.04. Magistrate Court, $17.69. Chestnut Ridge Park, $557.84. Camp Muffley, $242.81. Mason-Dixon Park, $76.48. Mon County Center, $139.18, for a voucher total of $268,674.72. We have no budget revisions. Position vacancies for boards and authorities are listed on the county website, and fiduciary orders for January 17th, 2024.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda approval items as presented?
So moved.
Second. We have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, is there any other fiduciary items?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is introduction of new employee personnel changes. Mecca 911.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This morning, I want to introduce Alexi Wasik. She started yesterday at a monthly salary of $3,321.98, and she will be completing her probationary period.
Move to approve the employee as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I just say thank you for the reports that you give about the weather, and we appreciate it because we have a big food giveaway Saturday, so I'm monitoring your reports.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any other personnel items?
Commissioner, Becca's here from the Extension Office, and you all had approved a new employee, the Family and Community Development Program Coordinator last week, and she's here this morning, so.
Great. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Paige Levitt, who is joining the WVU Monongalia County Extension Office as our Family and Community Development Program Coordinator, and I'll let you hear from her and a little bit about herself. So Paige, we're happy to have her. She hit the ground running.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, this is my second week. I just wanted to say hi. I am originally from Idaho. Me and my husband, we moved out here a couple years ago. I have a bachelor's in recreation management and a master's in business leadership and management. I used to work, I came from the Marion County Extension Program as a program assistant, and I operated a lot in the family community development side over there since they didn't have a family community development coordinator or agent. So I'm taking those responsibilities and using them to help Monongalia County, and it's been an awesome week, and I'm excited to be here, so thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
welcome, Paige. I took part in the interviews when we interviewed you, and we had three really good candidates, but you were able to, what was really apparent about you was your passion for extension and the ability to really just come in and fill a need immediately. So I'm glad you've already hit the ground running, and welcome to Monongalia County.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Do we have any other personnel changes?
No, that's all.
Okay, having said that, I'll go ahead and open up the comments from the public session of the meeting. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, raise your hand, come forward, and provide your name and address, and I'd like to hear what you want to talk to us about. Come on forward.
Thank you. My name is Justin Hirschberger. My address is 101 Manchester Drive here in Morgantown. but I am the Chief Public Defender for the 17th Judicial Circuit Public Defender Corporation, which is located here in Morgantown. And I have two issues, one smaller than the other. The first is, and I know the magistrates and prosecutors will appreciate me bringing this to your attention, the heating and cooling in the Justice Center. Yesterday, at various parts of the building that were open to the public, it was 57 degrees. And there is very limited meeting space for prosecutors to meet with witnesses, defense counsel to meet with clients, things like that. Several of those meeting spaces are glassed to the outside. Those rooms are significantly colder than anywhere else in the building. And so 57 degrees, I think, is pretty bad. And so I know there's been some talk about parts being ordered and if the parts are in or things like that. I just urge to have that issue addressed in some way, shape, or form sooner rather than later. The second issue is I know throughout the state, counties are now starting to see their share of the opioid settlement money. And through our meetings statewide, through other public defender corporations, with reentry counsel, things like that, and what some other county commissions may have already approved or have been bandied about in various other parts of the state, major bulks of that money from the county commission going to law enforcement, prosecutors' offices, things of that nature, which some of that money absolutely should go to those places. I just kind of want to lay the groundwork, hopefully for our county commission, to look at all of the areas allowed under the MOU for the spending of that money. That does include various other organizations providing services to the people who have been affected by drugs. It does also apply to legal services for those individuals. My office is a 501c3 funded right now entirely by the state of West Virginia through an agreement funding contract with the state. That's how all of the public defender corporations throughout the state are set up. But the funding of these corporations are woefully inadequate when compared to the prosecutor's offices. And we do many of the same cases, probably 80% of the cases that the prosecutor's office handles. I was looking at their budget. I believe their budget is $2.6, $2.4 million, somewhere in there a year. That's almost $1 million more than my budget. The salary budget, I believe, for the prosecutor's office last year was $1.4 million or so. That is only slightly less than my entire budget for a year. Other county commissions have not, unfortunately, not been willing to expend money in those areas. I think it is an appropriate consideration in that the county should have some skin in the game too, in terms of providing defense to people who are ultimately residents of the county. And my office is doing taking new paths in terms of criminal defense. There is, throughout the country, a movement towards what's known as holistic defense, and that's what my office is trying to incorporate. We have a resource navigator in our office who, when our clients need treatment or need to go to treatment, need housing, things like that, she can meet with them, point them in the right directions, help them with intakes, things of that nature. We're hoping to expand that program. We have interns from the School of Social Work at our office right now, hopefully being able at some point to turn that into a full social work position. And so while I don't have any proposals for the commission at this point in time, I just did want to bring that to the commission's attention, and when the time comes, I don't, from what I have seen so far, I don't think we've had very much discussions here in Mon County about where that money would go. From the commission standpoint, I can be back with some more details and things like that, but I did just want to express that we are here, and I do also want to thank you guys. We rent just across the street, and I know you guys are involved with them in all of the public entities in the ward building, and so they've all been very helpful to us. The commission, I believe, has been a supporter of us. I know Commissioner Bloom, I think you were at our open house or at some of our events, so I do thank you guys for that as well.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Justin.
coming.
Does anybody else would like to speak?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment. I came from Senator Manchin's office. It came across my
Wait,
desk.
I'm
You
sorry.
need to-
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Slow down.
Can you go,
Yeah.
you go ahead and say who you are?
Okay. Wendy Madden, sorry, from Senator Manchin's office. And
you.
just a small update. Our office is tracking that Harmony Grove project, and they reached out to Seth Gaynor, who now works for the National Department of Transportation, Highways, requesting an update on the DOT review. So as soon as we get information, I'll share it with you, but I wanted you to know that we were tracking it and trying to get information as soon as we can, so.
Okay,
That's
thank
all.
you very much.
Thank you.
So I apologize.
That's all right. Is there anybody else that'd like to come up and speak in public portion?
May I ask to suspend the rules to respond so we can just generally talk?
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second to suspend the rules to address the comments. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Justin, we appreciate your questions and comments. And just so you clarify, you are correct. You haven't heard anything because last week we received $1 million. We are in the process of, and the others can also speak, in the process of coming up with a guidelines to develop how we want to disseminate that information. So I can tell you that's the first thing. The other thing I would strongly recommend is have all of your public defending offices contact First Foundation that has $1 billion. So since you are through the Supreme Court, that may also be an avenue that could help too. But if the others want to speak, we've not even discussed this. Go ahead.
Well, no, I certainly see the need for help in that area. I appreciate the statistics. Of course, the one disparity that I would point out is you compared your budget to the prosecuting attorneys. Of course, they're responsible for prosecuting every criminal case in the county, and you all are doing a portion, so there should be some difference as far as there are privately retained attorneys that defend cases, as well as other attorneys that are on the appointment list. It's apples and oranges, I know, but just to point out because there is such a disparity, I could see why that is there. But we appreciate all the work you all are doing, and we worked with Michael Sims when he was setting up the corporation, and I think it's got a good solid foundation, and I look forward to continuing to see it grow.
Okay. And just to reiterate, it's the policy of the commission not to respond to comments in a public session unless one of the commissioner wants to entertain a motion, which is what we did. I was just going to respond in our comment section, but since we may have a little bit of a more lengthy meeting due to a presentation, I'm happy with responding now. Yes, you're right. You haven't heard anything, but we haven't really got into the details of that process. For the longest time, we weren't sure when the money was coming. But with everything with this commission, we will be completely transparent, and the process will be similar to what we did when we even had to set up our representative for the First Foundation, for the W First Foundation. So you'll hear about it, and we've said time and time again that we want to get the right people in the room to make suggestions, to give us information, because we're not experts. We want to bring experts in as to where those dollars could be best spent. So we will do that. You're right, we do support, the commission had gifted that building to the Development Authority. The Development Authority, and when they came to us and needed space, we wanted them to work with you to make sure that you had your space, and you guys do have some nice space over there. So we do work with your organization, and we're interested in working with your organization as we go further. And, just pay attention to our regular meetings. You'll when it's on our agenda, you can see it. You can come to any of the meetings and voice your concerns in, and I really do appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, and I didn't think it was a bad thing that I hadn't heard anything yet. I figured things were getting set up. So.
In some counties, yes.
Yeah.
But not here in Monongalia.
Not here.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
No,
No.
thanks for
Okay.
coming in.
Got closed the public portion. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by Andrew Gasbray, Director of Planning, regarding the proposed subdivision regulations. Andrew?
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for this. Hopefully I'll get this all to work. Put that away, please. Got the tools of the trade. Please forgive me to kind of keep this going. All right. Make sure it's still working. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Again, thank you. This presentation is intended to provide an overview of the proposed draft of the subdivision ordinance of Monongalia County, West Virginia. You may recall that a draft was proposed in the 2021-2022 timeframe, and a copy of that draft has been posted on the Mon County Planning Commission website for about 2 years now. We have updated that draft, listening to feedback from the public and developers to make it clearer and easier to follow, but really it has not changed in that time, other than some minor corrections for clarity. This is an overview, kind of bringing us back. It's been a while since we've looked at this. This is an overview principally of that work. So what is a SALDO, to kind of get that back into our heads? It stands for a subdivision and land development ordinance. We also refer to it as subdivision ordinance, subdivision regulations. When we say those things, we are referring to the same thing, but the SALDO is the official term. Now there seems to be, come on. Subdivision regulations enable governing bodies to ensure safe development through guaranteeing proper development of roads, stormwater management, utilities, rights of way, and other infrastructure needs in construction in conjunction with any type of subdivision, commercial, residential, or industrial. And this is important because everybody, there's a lot of disinformation out there. Subdivision regulations are not zoning regulations. The West Virginia Supreme Court has ruled on this, making it very clear that they're not the same. The principal difference is that subdivision ordinances regulate infrastructure. Zoning regulations regulate land use. Not the same thing, okay? Just want to make sure that's clear. Why do we need one? Why do we need a SALDO? Don't do that. Stay, behave. Okay, to ensure that, all right, fine, I see how it is. To ensure that development has a mind of its own. To ensure, and we may have a timing thing on that. All right. Okay. Stay. No. Sit.
It's like my puppy.
It's got a timing automatically going on it for some reason. I don't understand why.
Means you have to talk faster.
I just have to talk faster. All right. Just pause for now. All right, maybe. All right. So no, it still doesn't want to do it. To ensure. Just end chill. Just leave it like that. All right. Apologies. To ensure that development, which we depend on to move towards the future, we want, for instance, in the comp plan, it provides the appropriate and has the tools to provide the appropriate infrastructure for the developments that they provide. It does not dictate land use. So in other words, whatever land use you want, the saldo ensures that you have the appropriate land development infrastructure for whatever land use you choose. The reason we do this is to ensure that subdivisions occur with required minimums to help prevent undersized roads, lack of appropriate utilities during construction, allow for bonding in the case of developer abandonment or bankruptcy. Without it, there could be an absence of right-of-way requirements, utility requirements, problems with emergency access to a given area. It could lead to problems such as basement flooding, vehicular accidents, and so on and so forth. So it is important that when we have development that it has the appropriate infrastructure, and that's what the saldo is intended to provide. So what does this saldo offer? This one, we listened to the public for probably 2 years and the development community, and we wanted to make sure we were being sensitive to promote good development and discourage bad development. That's all we're really trying to do. We're not trying to be an impediment. We're trying to be an asset, an ally in that process. And so we reward improved quality development, particularly with respect to water management and traffic management, making it easier to share responsibility for shared infrastructure. That's something I know that we've faced as a county quite a bit, where we have multiple subdivisions on a given road, and who takes care of the common access road? And often you guys have stepped forward and with the Orphan Road program, et cetera, to help provide the appropriate infrastructure. This offers a mechanism to help them work together to have access to that common access road and work together on that process. And so we're trying to be less punitive and more encouraging for incentive-based choices to improve design. When a development provides a better design, we call that preferred. Mm-hmm. We've also added in ease of application and improved timeline. So if someone is providing a better development, we give them some time advantages and some development advantages. We provide an ease of bonding because often bonding is a real challenge for developments. And we provide a lot of easy-to-use tables and so forth. We also provide ease of permitting. If you are under a certain size, your ability to follow the regs is optional. We've provided more flexibility. We've provided information as a guideline or toolkit, and I'll show you that in a minute, to help people find the area that they're looking at and give them lots of examples, something you really can't do easily in the regulations themselves. So a reminder of the advantages of preferred. So if you are a development and you are choosing to do a better design, a preferred design, there are advantages for your development and for the county. So as a developer, you can get more units and less infrastructure per unit because you have a better design. You may have more connectivity, et cetera, so you don't need to provide as wide a road, et cetera. We also provide expedited review and an easier process because the Planning Commission is familiar and you're using templates and things that they've already seen, so it's easier and faster for them to give approval. For the county, it provides better connections, less sprawl. It's easier to review and less review time necessary, and it makes for better buildability and lots and land that allows, for instance, a neighboring land to have an easier path to development if they're being thoughtful with how it's developed. So where have we been? Actually, we've been probably at this 60 years now as a county. The last go, this recent stab was started in 2018, and we've had a great deal of public outreach. I'm not going to belabor that. I just want to show that we've had, and you personally have reached out and had many different forms of review, trying to make sure we've heard from the state, from the legal community, from developers, etc. Where are we hoping to go? The only thing that's required of you, according to the state regs, is that you have a public hearing for this and you give 30 days notice. Staff has laid out the steps that we advise you to consider, but they're just advisement. They're not a requirement. In this set of recommendations, we underscore a couple things. Adopting is not necessarily when an ordinance takes effect. So we're offering the opportunity to say, we like this draft, we want to try it out, we will adopt it, but it doesn't go into effect until, say, 3 months from now. And then we also propose that there be a timeline where developments can do a parallel process where they could see what would happen if they developed it in the method of the saldo or the way they traditionally do it. And then there's a timeline that we recommend where they have to follow the guideline, otherwise they won't do it. They have to have some time to see what it's like to actually develop under the saldo. But let's say it doesn't work right. It doesn't work quite right. We have a 1 year after enaction, when it goes into effect, we suggest that there is a review process to say what worked, what didn't work. We will make tweaks or even revoke. And that is an opportunity available to you. One other thing I'd like you to consider in that timeline, and something that you need to keep in mind, is that we will need the services of some form of county engineer. We suggest a contract at first before we hire someone on full time, and we have that in the process, but it takes time to actually get people that can serve in that function. And we'll need to get a subdivision review board, which requires members, so you have to get people to do that. So those are things to keep in mind. So, I could have today, but you all have seen this. It's been online for 2 years. I've beaten you over the head with this regulation for quite some time. To remind those that haven't seen it in a while and want to review, we have a series of how-to videos. The big question is how to apply this, how to use it. And we have several videos online to help you through the process, give examples, etc. So if you have any questions, you can certainly use that. That's the way it's done these days, apparently, but staff is still always available. Whatever timeline and staff is willing to have a special work session or a special presentation, just giving examples and allowing people to walk through that publicly. We're happy to do that and integrate it into any timeline that you suggest. We'd also like to discuss, as I mentioned, we'd have to hire county engineering capacity of some sort, and the subdivision review board. Staff is willing to have a work session on that as well. I wanted to leave that into your hands so that when you are coming up with a proposed timeline that you all decide, we are partners in that process and willing to step forward any way you need us to. So finally, what are we looking to do? Sort of what's the ask today is setting up that timeline. That's probably your next step, if I might be so bold, arranging to set a date for a public hearing. We do want to have the lawyers that wrote the ordinance itself present, so please give us plenty of time such that they can be in attendance. We will Zoom them in, but we would like them to be there because obviously they have the technical legal expertise available, and we would like to make that available to you, whatever timeline that you propose. And we encourage anyone, any development, any developers, any people from the public who have questions to visit our website, the videos, or call us at any time. And that's really all I have from the presentation standpoint. For a public hearing, just so that people know, that's usually where we'll go through some examples and answer questions, because that's more the official process, but you may set it up differently. Like if we have a special session for examples alone, I'm happy to do that, and then the public hearing can just be pro and con. But I will make those available to the public. I did want to take some time because I'm sure you've heard this. I know I have. We just want to show that these are the draft regulations. Okay? This is another draft regulation the county already has. Oh my goodness, it's so long. It's 100 pages long. "16 pages are facilitating tables as a cheat sheet. Once you've gone through it and understand the process, you really probably only need to follow the cheat sheet, which gives a table about what do you need when, and what are those deadlines for that relative to when you applied. And again, much shorter than other regulations that we have. Furthermore, I point out that it depends on what you're applying for. You don't need the whole thing. This is 5 completely different sections plus definitions, etc. Are you exempt? What qualifies you as exempt? Are you doing a minor subdivision, a major subdivision, a major with phases? Are you changing an existing approval, making an amendment to it, for instance? Those are all different sections. So only a portion of this applies to anyone at any given time. So I don't think it's a particularly onerous subdivision, and we provide guidance on how you might use it. This is a toolkit only, which gives tons of examples. It's also on our website. Gives you sample calculations, the advantages, disadvantages, some extant examples and cases, as well as tons of templates on how you can do it. Hey, you want to do this? Look at the template. This is something that the Planning Commission is already familiar with and knows, and it makes it very easy for them to approve such a development. That's all I had for today. I'm willing to answer any questions. I just wanted to get this upped into our brains a little bit.
All right.
And
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you coming in. If any of the commissioners have anything they would like to ask or comment, please keep in mind that we're just talking about the process to start this conversation, not necessarily the merits of subdivision regulations or anything like that. We'll do that when we get into the process. But did you have anything?
First, I want to thank you. I mean, this is really helpful for me because it brings me back to understanding and focusing. And I appreciate what you just said at the end. So I was going to make a possible suggestion on your last file, the last thing that you put up, where it says, what will we be doing for the public hearing? If you make it, and you made it clear at the end, but you didn't make it clear here, the people have the right to ask questions, voice concerns, and then you'll respond, which is no problem. The way it reads here, it says, going through examples so you can see, so people didn't understand that they could ask questions. It's not a presentation, and that's all I want to clarify.
Thank you.
So that the public understands that, and that's great. And the other thing we'll probably talk about, unfortunately, is we might have to have 2 during the day and an evening. But this really, I have to admit, this really is very helpful for me. So I appreciate that. And that's the only point.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. And we will, as a commission, we will discuss the timeline, and we'll get back to you if we have any questions, or we'll get back to you with that schedule as the same. And obviously, we'll be notifying you, and we'll be notifying the public. But I'll look forward to those conversations.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is grants with our County Commission Office Manager and Grants Coordinator, Colleen Kuhn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have the subrecipient agreement between the City of Morgantown and us for the Community Development Block Grant. They've been awarded $20,000. We've been awarded $20,966. So I just need a signature for that.
Okay, do I have a motion for the President to sign the document?
Move for the President to sign.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Welcome. Next item on the agenda is correspondence. A letter received from Governor Justice regarding the county fire protection funding.
Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory.
We did actually receive that money, so
Yeah.
it was deposited yesterday.
Okay. Letter received from Mid-Ohio Valley Regional Council requesting funding for their senior companion program.
The request is for $250.
Okay.
Typically, we would just refer them to our grant process that will be opening at the end of the month, so a regular grant process.
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine.
Sounds good.
Any other correspondence?
I have no other correspondence.
Commissioner Arnett?
None.
None.
Okay. Move on to the next item, which is unfinished business. We have no unfinished business, so we'll go on to new business. To consider the request by Mark Music, Assessor of Monongalia County, for the County Commission to issue a letter authorizing his office to adjust parcel and personnel property accounts as necessary.
You see the letter, we go through this every year. I've prepared a letter for you all to sign that just gives them the ability to adjust parcel, personal property, and mineral values as necessary.
This is, that's way it gives the assessor's office the flexibility and not have to come back to us each time. Okay.
Move to approve the letter.
Second.
as
Second,
requested.
okay, any discussion? The assessor's here, did you need to say anything about it, Mark?
We're good. It's a common thing we've done every year.
Okay.
It helps us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. We have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. Consideration to approve the job description and subsequent advertisement of a custodial supervisor. Again,
That pretty much
self-description.
explains itself.
Well, this agenda item and the next agenda item are related, so I'll explain more on the second agenda item. But this position will work on behalf of the commission to manage our contractual and staff custodial support. So do I have a motion to approve the posting and
So
advertisement?
moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. To consider a request for proposals for janitorial services from Monongalia County Courthouse and Monongalia County Justice Center.
You want to take that one?
Sure. We currently have a contract in place. That contract has been in place for, I believe, over 7 years. As we put an RFP out in '23, we had no responses. We met with our current provider, and we have been reaching out to other providers to test the temperature as far as putting another RFP out and what the issues are. And this is an area that's just really hard. There's not a lot of entities out there providing this service. We actually had put 3 or 4 positions out to hire the staff and do it in-house, and we didn't get adequate response. So we've been going back and forth with this issue for a number of years, but we did come across as a plan to revise the statement of work for the janitorial support services, and something that's a little bit easier to work with our partners, easier to get more responses. Because some of the stuff, the previous award was all-encompassing, and it was like they had to do all of the above monthly for a fixed rate. And some of those things just became hard to manage. So what we have done is we've put the bulk of the support under a firm fixed price monthly amount. That'd be your daily cleaning and your weekly cleaning. But we've taken the quarterly, the semi-annual cleaning, and all that's on a fixed fixed price line item basis. So the vendor doesn't get paid until they actually do the work, and it allows the vendor more opportunity to specialize and sub out that work. Say like if, carpet cleaning, rather than having all the equipment themselves and organizing to do that, they can sub out to an entity that only does that. And it should make it more cost effective. The new RFP should make the janitorial support more cost effective. And the other portion that we just discussed was the janitorial supervisor. This allows this individual to manage the work. We've also taken all the supplies over. We'll be ordering all the supplies, so that's also a very costly and unknown number that it's dangerous to put into a firm fixed price contract. So we're going to pull all that back. So this person will be in charge of ordering and making sure where our stock is, and then the janitorial support staff will come in and utilize that, and it should be a cost savings to the county. So this is all going to work together, assuming we get good candidates for the position, and assuming we get good response to the RFP. Some of you that sit in the Justice Center and sit in this building that have come in and had issues with some of the cleaning over the past years, we're working to ensure that it all works together better. So this is kind of a real comprehensive way to address something as simple as cleaning our building. So that's all I have to say to you guys.
I think you covered it.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the request for proposal 2024 MCC 002 for janitorial support services for the Monongalia County Justice Center and Courthouse as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Consideration to approve an appointment to the Mountain Line Transit Authority.
We've posted this several weeks ago. We got a response. Russell Rogerson, who is from the Morgantown Area Partnership and the Development Authority, is interested in serving. I believe you had a conversation with him about his application.
Yes.
Okay.
I talked to Russ because I was worried about his workload and his bandwidth. This is this county's position on the transit authority, and Russ is really interested in relation to a lot of the transportation development projects that we're now working on, and a lot of funding is tied to a lot of that those equity issues as far as providing mass transit. So it does kind of tie in with a lot of things that the partnership and the development authority is working on. And Russ feels that it's a nominal amount of his time, and he's interested in serving. So having ensured that it's not too much for him to take on, I'm fine with his appointment, and I'll take in a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, you guys have anything else? Okay.
No, I mean, if he's got the time, Russ is great. So.
Yep.
I would add that he's filling the unexpired term of Ron Bain, who resigned.
Right.
Correct.
So.
It's about a month and a half ago or so.
Yeah, so we'll actually be appointing him to fill that term.
Till then, okay.
Great.
Okay, and then we'll take it up again. All right, so we have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consideration to approve an appointment to the West Virginia Route 2 I-68 Authority.
So apparently you have two seats on that board. Delegate Statler actually serves as a representative for Monongalia County, and Dr. Ed Bernardus. He apparently resigned. I wasn't aware of that in May. And so Bob Miller, who's the executive director of that authority, has, I guess, talked to John Deskins from WVU, and he is interested. He's been, I guess, helping him with some other analysis or something as far as his letter states. So that is who, I guess, he's interested in serving, so that's who he's putting forth.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve
So
Dr.
moved, Don
Deskins?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, to consider approval a letter support requested by the City of Morgantown Arts and Cultural Development for their grant application to the West Virginia Department of Arts, Culture, and History for community arts project support.
This is a letter
Self-explanatory.
similar to the one that you did last year. It's getting sent to the West Virginia Department of Arts, Culture, and History. And it's regarding the 2024 summer concert series for the Ruby Amphitheater. And they're requesting $20,000.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve
So
the letter of
moved.
support?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that appears to be all of our new business. Is there any, there's nothing else right now?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is reports from elected officials and/or department supervisors. Do we have anybody that would like to address the commission? Okay, reports from county commissioners. Jeff?
Just a general comment on today's meeting. It was nice to see a full room. We say all the time that good governance can't be achieved without community support. So I always appreciate a good room and people bringing forth their concerns, public comment. That's the way we learn about things. So thank you for coming in and discussing the Public Defender's Office and anything we can do to help. We're certainly happy to look at and take a response on the monies that we spoke a little bit about the monies we've received on the opioid settlement. We're going to set up a process probably similar to our grant proposal procedure that we follow next month as far as our normal granting process, but we're still formulating everything as Commissioner Secor indicated earlier. So just keep your eye open and your ears open, and we'll try to get to that as quickly as we can in an expeditious manner. That's all I've got.
Tom?
Yes, several things. First, Wendy, if I can call you, thank you for showing up. We really do appreciate your contact and everything Senator Manchin and Senator Caput have done to really pursue the Harmony Grove and also for the, $54 million that we received. And I want it very clear that the $54 million we received for Exit 155 is with also the state's $68 million. And I want it very clear that that is how we perceive it. And we look forward to working together of combining those two funds. So thank you very much. The second thing, as everyone's on their mind, is snow coming, snow removal. I have been in contact, and I did explain to the commissioners, I've been in contact, actually got calls from Mike Oliveira, Joe Statler, very concerned about what had happened again. And actually, while we had the meeting, I just got a phone call from Mike Oliveira, and he's requesting that we come up and look at some ideas to try and see what we can do again. And if you remember several years ago when we called a state of emergency and all the cities and counties worked together with WVU to look at what our options are. And I want to just, again, not say that we do it immediately, but we need to look at what he's asking that we consider looking what options we can do again to work together to make sure we continue to have some sort of a positive road clearing with just 2 or 3 inches. I'm sorry. It's very disturbing. I know to the three of us, I'm sure you got the phone calls, too, that we want to see what we can do to make sure that we keep the main roads open, and especially the path from I-68 through to the hospitals back to I-79 needs to be a priority. So hopefully we'll do that. So I want to pass that on. And the third thing is just I want you to be aware, next Thursday at 9:30 at the Mon County Center, we are going to have our regional opioid 4 district meeting to discuss some issues. So I just want to make that available.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Last week, I wasn't here. I was in Waco working remotely, but I was able to get some commission business done while I was down there on Thursday. I participated in the MAP Executive Board meeting and the Development Authority meeting. And then on Friday, I participated in staff reports, and I did a broadband sync with my team. Monday was a holiday, but I did take time to meet with members of the Development Authority regarding the Richwood project. Yesterday, I had lunch with a constituent, and then in the afternoon, the administrator and I had our HR meeting with our HR consultants. Today's a regular day. I have a couple calls this afternoon, and then we have a MAP board meeting tonight at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow's our MMPO meeting. Friday, we have staff reports, broadband sync, and then possibly a meeting regarding exit 155 in Charleston, which we need to discuss. Sunday, we'll be going to the County Commission Association meetings in Charleston, and we'll be down there through the afternoon on Tuesday. I want to thank, I note that the city approved the rezoning of the properties for the Richwood project last night. I do want to thank the city council for helping with this project. I want to thank Russ Rogerson and Eric Carlson for all the work that they did with MAP and the Development Authority, getting us to this point. Now's the critical point where, okay, we know what we can actually build there. We need all parties to come together, the city, the university, the commission, the developers, the citizens, to make sure that that project moves forward. But I want to thank the city for their vote and for their willingness to take part and help move this project forward. So one thing we didn't mention that you had brought up was the heat in the Justice Center building.
Oh, yeah.
We are quite aware. Our staff has been working with that. There's a little bit of miscommunication where our maintenance people weren't notified for a while that it was going on, but once they were notified, they've taken they started taking action to fix the problem. So hopefully it's corrected as soon as possible. They've done some things like bring in some heaters and stuff to help address the problem. But we're quite aware of it, and I do appreciate you mentioning it, and I appreciate your patience. Obviously, with these temperatures, it's not optimal to try to work in those conditions, so I really do appreciate it. And I do appreciate you coming in and using the process to, hey, these dollars are going to be available. What are you guys going to do with them? And we'll certainly be transparent and let you know. I think Andrew left, but I want to thank the planner for, though we had technical difficulties, for coming forward and doing his presentation too. And again, we're just trying to get to a point where we have a conversation. Nothing is predetermined. Nothing is, we just want to continue the conversation and lay out a process where we can inform the public and then have a discussion and then possibly make a decision as far as how we want to move forward or if we want to move forward. Just trying to have the conversation. So I appreciate everything Andrew and his team have done to get us to this point. Having said that, I don't think I have anything else, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.